Let's get to it. Bring the pain.
What's up, everybody? It's Heat Override, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you this week. The only point fighter in the DFS industry that has a podcast named Bring the Pain on the network of Dr. Roto. Oh, yeah. Bam! Let's get live to the bone this time. Look, this is the first time I ever did anything live like this, so I'm definitely going to have fun. It's a little treat. It's the playoff times in the NFL, and I just want to make sure that while I'm giving out my Ultra Contrarian Lineups, I want to make sure that I make everybody part of this. So that being said, I just want you to know that the way I run this show, if this is the first time you've ever seen this show, maybe the notification that you ever popped up and you were like, hey, what is this show? Right? From Dr. Roto. We always see this loudmouth dude Heat Override talking some dank, but at the same time, all of a sudden, now this dude's live and he ain't going to shut up. Well, that's what we do when we talk DFS. So right now, I have the comments section up. So if you want to throw in some comments and do some stuff like that, is it? But how I run this show is I give my target players, I give prices for both sites. At the end, I give you a FanDuel and DraftKings lineup. And for the year, I'm 14-6 on both sites. So that's not bad. I did take a win on DraftKings this week. FanDuel got waxed. Of course, you know, injuries happen. Things just didn't work out. But that's all right, because on the DraftKings, I've been really, really, really hot. It's just funny how that sometimes these sites you just do that. You're like, okay, well, we're going to FanDuel. Well, FanDuel right now, of course, as we're going to get to, has a player well underpriced, while DraftKings actually was a little smarter and priced the guy up just in case he missed. So we'll get to Tim talking about that. So if you haven't been over to the site, head over to Dr. Roto right now. We're giving all types of reviews for all of the games, all of the articles. Also, we have a lot of golf content coming out. Kick's been doing it with the hockey as of late. So I just had his write-up come out not long ago today for tonight's slate that probably just hit. So if you're watching this, you need to get over to Dr. Roto and use code word DOC and get your percentage off your subscription so that you become our rich friend. Yeah. Woo! All right, let's start it out. All these quarterbacks here, you're just going to sit there and you're going to tell me that last week was a fluke, that he just might get smashed again. Well, you know what? For $5K on DK, I'm taking CJ Stroud all day. Yeah, 7,200 on FanDuel. CJ Stroud showed last week that he just ain't no punk and that he's going to actually put up the yards and beat a team. And that wasn't an easy defense to beat. He was getting hounded all game with that pass rush. But guess what? He was able to beat it, and he beat it by finding his alpha receiver, Nico Collins. Of course, much of the other team didn't really step up. Menchie, I really liked what Menchie did, so Menchie is definitely in play this week, but, I mean, his price on DK is really good. But FanDuel, again, a little off on that. But then again, FanDuel gave you a nice discount on that one guy. So let's just keep it going, right? So I'll give you a little hint. When I do my lineups, I just punt. I punt some players. I punt some areas, and I take a defense. And I'm probably wearing a defensive shirt right now. So, you know, that's it. Horns up, Rams Nation. So Derrick Henry. I mean, it's the Buffalo Bills. The Bills haven't been the best in the league against the run. However, Derrick Henry is very determined to make a Super Bowl. And Lamar Jackson has had a monkey on his back all year long. Literally. Everybody's like, you shouldn't be the MVP. Josh Allen is the MVP. I guess who wins this game should probably be the MVP. However, that may not go the way it goes. Both these teams are amazing, and both these teams can beat Kansas City to go to the Super Bowl. So Kansas City should be a little worried because both of them are hot. And both of them are moving the ball and scoring practically at will. Now, I know last week you go, well, the Ravens were playing the Steelers, and everybody was like, the Steelers are just going to lose this game. Don't even do it. The fact is that the Ravens took the Steelers apart the way the Steelers didn't think the Ravens would take them apart. And that's by running Lamar Jackson the whole first drive. And the Steelers were a little caught off guard with that. That got them up. Again, the fourth down on their first drive didn't help them. Should have went for it. You know, in the playoffs, you kind of go, am I going to be passive or am I going to go for it all? Well, you were passive, and that's why you got bounced, Steeler Nation. Yeah. right? So that's why Derrick Henry is such a big play. It doesn't matter if the Ravens win or lose, he's going to be a big part of that game. Unless for some fluky reason, Buffalo jumps up 21-24 to nothing because of a fumbled kickoff return, which we've already seen Keyshawn Nixon do this playoffs, and things like that happen. Unless that happens, and you'll see a lot of Hill then, Derrick Henry's going to be a big part of this game, and I don't care what you say. The fact that I can get Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley in the same lineup and highlight both players is amazing. Saquon Barkley, 8,200, 9,300 on FanDuel. He's playing my Rams. He did amazing last time against the Rams. He didn't really have the best of games against the Packers, but as you saw as the game wore on, the Packers defense wore down. Now, the Rams, I would say overall, aren't as solid as the Packers, but right now the Rams front line is dominant. 9 sacks isn't no joke. And if you've listened to my podcast and maybe read some of my write-ups and betting articles, you'll have noticed that I've been talking about the Rams defense for a little while. Well, not just because I'm a Rams fan, but because I know they can rush the passer, and that's big in the playoffs. And again, we saw that with a potent offense like the Minnesota Vikings, who honestly just found themselves beaten before they even started the game, because after that fumble was called back for a touchdown and they were down 10-3 and it wasn't, intentional grounding or anything, that right there alone destroyed their hopes. And I knew then we was going to beat them down, even though we punted right after that. But it's all right. We all know we're moving to Philly now. Yeah. So let's move along. I said alpha. I said alpha, like a alpha, because I'm making Nico Collins my top receiver. 7,600 on DraftKings and 8,500 on FanDuel. Now, I know that Kansas City does have a solid defense. I talked them all up last year. I literally, after the Super Bowl, before the Super Bowl, and throughout the year this year, I talked about why I talked about them. But right now, that defense doesn't look like that same defense. And right now, the Chiefs are playing a hot team. They're coming off a bye. Now, no disrespect, I picked the Chiefs. I picked the Chiefs to win this game. But at the same time, I can see Houston beating them. If there is one upset and it's not the LA Rams, it could be Houston. It literally could be Houston. Because if Kansas City finds themselves chasing Nico Collins the whole game, then they're going to have a problem. Here's the thing. Kansas City has a plethora of targets, a plethora. And the one thing they haven't been able to do, like they were able to do on that run to the Super Bowl last year, is run the ball effectively. And Pacheco was a big part of that. And now Pacheco's like literally missing. So right now, unless they get him going and that defense really steps up and Houston just tanks, well, then that's going to be a win for the Chiefs and it's going to be a loss for the Texans. However, if Nico Collins catches 12 balls, goes 189 yards for 2 touchdowns, Kansas City will be out of the playoffs. And then it's going to be either the Ravens or the Bills going to the Super Bowl. So I got money actually on all those teams. I picked it up last year when the Chiefs won me my Super Bowl money off of that awesome Super Bowl prop betting show that me and Danger did. And once that was done, bam, put all those bets on. They've been just sitting there waiting this entire time. And that's what we do at Dr. Roto. We make sure that you have a lot of your bets, a lot of your futures, and a lot of your things up. We're in the subs only Discord, always talking to our people. I can look down right now and I can see them talking right now. And that is a part of what you get at Dr. Roto, which is there for you. That's why we have all the right cures for all your fantasy sport needs. Yeah. Ain't nobody can say that stuff. That's how I do it. Yeah. All right, let's move along. Khalil Shakir. There are so many people, and I know Devontae Smith is right there. Devontae Smith is right there, right? But Khalil Shakir, $5,000 and $6,100 on FanDuel? I mean, we saw what he did last time in last game. 6 for 6 for 61. And if you're going to beat the Ravens and you're not going to be able to rely on James Cook, Rave Davis, or like I said, what's going to end up happening is that Ty Johnson package that you saw the other day that I talked about on my podcast on Tuesday, you're going to see that come out all year. If you have not noticed this, anybody that watches the games notices, but Numbers will not tell you this. That is why numbers people, yeah, sons, right? This is what's going to happen is that the Buffalo Bills love to use Ty Johnson in the passing game out of the backfield. If they can't run on the Ravens, which it's really hard to run on the Ravens, as we all know, one of the best defenses in the league. Wonder where they got that from. Oh, yeah, my articles, right? Anyway, well, back to it. If they can't run on them, this is going to be a Ty Johnson game. They're literally going to be screening it to him. But other than Ty Johnson, the other guy that gets a lot of that work is Khalil Shakir. And that's going to open up Keon Coleman Long and Amari Cooper. Now, the Bills kind of aren't using Amari Cooper the way a lot of people think they are or should be. But here's the problem. They don't have to worry about using him the way that they want to. It's never been about Amari Cooper or Khalil Shakir or James Cook or Dalton Kincaid or his boy Dawson Knox. Wonder why I mentioned him. Anyway, well, it's not about that. It's about Josh Allen, Mr. MVP, Super Allen. That's who is going to be the man that is going to make sure that the Bills have their best chance to make a Super Bowl in so many years. And that's going to be the difference, and he's going to be part of it. If he has a bad game, the Bills could lose this game. And I'm not saying that Shakir's going to go over 100 yards, and I'm not saying he's going to have 2 touchdowns. I'm not going to be able to say that. But at $5,000, you give me at least 7 for 89, 1 touchdown, we solid. But outside of that, 5K on DK, that's savings all day. However, you can definitely save with Menchie. Menchie is definitely really cheap. We got him at 38 on DK, and then on FanDuel he's 56. So I don't like his price on 56 because I know that a lot of people say that you're going to be chasing these points, but when the Commanders get together with the Lions, the only thing that's going to happen is going to be a shootout. And when Jaden Daniels goes in there to stomp out Jared Goff in the Lions and put them right out of their misery, setting it up for a home game in LA, is going to be Donnie Brown. Donnie Brown, 3,900, 5,100 on FanDuel. I do like that. Again, $500 cheaper, and you need that extra money. You'll see why. Because right now, Dallas Goedert came up with an illness today, so he got a questionable tag. Hopefully they get some vitamin C in that dude, and he feels a lot better, because 3,900 on DK ain't bad. However, on FanDuel, he's 6,100 in the Rams. We already saw what TJ Hawkinson did to the Rams last week. Goedert's going to do that to us as well. And that's just sauce. The Rams are going to give that up. 1, because they give it up. 2, because their linebackers kind of suck. So we're just more involved in trying to stop that passing game through the rush rather than just, hey, there he goes. Well, that's what they do. And that's why Dallas Goedert is a great play. Unfortunately, like that price tag on FanDuel just kind of gets it up. Flex. Here he is. Here it is. The most big. They screwed up. David Montgomery. Everybody is going to be on David Montgomery. He's probably going to be 100% owned. If he's not 100% owned, you can still see him 60, 70% owned on FanDuel. Now, DraftKings, he is, let's give his price out, $5,700 on DraftKings. He is $4,000 on FanDuel. 4. Not like any of you don't know this. I know all of you know it, but how can you pass up 4,000? Now, yes, you can just get crazy, avoid him just in case for some reason they try to nurse him back in. But here's the thing about Montgomery. He doesn't need any kind of nursing. He ain't flashy. All he does is go right forward. He's mandatory. And that, to me, at $4,000 on FanDuel opens up so much more. Of course, I'm going to end it out with the Rams defense. What we saw last week with Philly, that's how Philly likes to play. Well, Philly can play that way with the Rams, because if the Rams play like last week and Philly plays like last week, even if Philly wins, this isn't going to be a 38-17 game. This ain't going to be a 45-20 game in favor of the Eagles. This is going to be like what you saw with the 22-10. It's going to be like a 27-28 maybe, 31 to maybe a 20. This is going to be and I think even that's giving it way too much. That needs to come down. My prediction was on this game, it was the Rams 23, Philly 17, because my dark horse of this week was the Rams. Yes, I write everything down. That's how I do. Pen to pad. Old school, baby. Yeah. So that being said, you got all of those plays right there. Now, if you want to throw in Dalton Schultz against the Chiefs is big. He got 4 targets, 2 catches, but with the Chiefs being worried about Joe Mixon, who nobody's talking about Joe Mixon. With them being worried about him and Nico Collins, who you think's going to be limping over the middle here? It's going to be Schultz. Man, I will tell you this. If Brevin Jordan didn't get hurt for the year, they would be really hurting because Brevin Jordan would eat them up. His skill set, woo, bang. Sorry, man. I'll see you next year, though. Get well, Jordan. You'll be all right. All right, everybody, this is why you're here. This is what we do. This is the Ultra Contrarian Lineups. Ooh, yeah. In the set of Heat Override. Yeah. DK, ready? Stroud, Henry, Barkley, Collins, Brown, Shakir, Goddard, Montgomery, Rams. Oh, what you gonna do, Rob? I'm gonna introduce you to a lot of things. I make chameleon lineups, and I can make a lineup on both sites practically almost the same. Let's run it. Stroud, Henry, Barkley, Collins, Brown, Shakir, Kelsey, Monty, and the Rams defense. That right there is going to give you the slice. Now, again, people will, with that extra money that you have on Monty, you're able to get the Kelsey. He is $6,500 on FanDuel. That right there alone is a lot of money. So, but guess what? With the savings that you get with Montgomery, you're looking at only like, was it 1,500 or 10,500 for both players? I'm surprised Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley ain't $10,500. If Christian McCaffrey was on this slate or any slate, he's always $10,000. So you get the savings with that. You get all of the savings with Brown if you want to shift. Okay, so if you want to go Mechie, you want to go with the full Houston stack, you could definitely throw that in right there. That's kind of why I went to Goddard. Now, definitely monitor him. I'm not going to say he's got anything else, but it's just an illness. He should be great. All right, everybody, you have a great day. Get to Dr. Roto. Be ready for his visionaries tomorrow and his beta visionaries tomorrow as well. We already have tons of articles previewing all of these games. And, of course, tomorrow we're going to have Friday Night Lights with Willie, Swami, and Doc. I mean, we all know that they break hell on that show. It gets wild. Willie, you're a wild man, but I love you anyway, man. That's why I can't be on that show. It'd be too much, man. You got Willie, you got Swami. They're just like fighting like, well, they are brothers, practically. I mean, good time friends. So, they fight like that. Good old Doc, man. He just needs to wear a ref shirt. Have a great day, everybody. And always remember to bring the pain. Ooh, yeah. May the points be with you.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.